Hey y'all, I know it's dark, but you know what it is. I'll wait till y'all. Ooh, excuse me. Wait till y'all come on. Thirsty. Hey, one person. I sure like to know who the first person be jumping on here, real quick. Oh, you gone again. You know what? I'm gonna need me some introduction music, and I know I need me a ring light and a light in general. Let me see if I could what I could do with this phone. Mhm. Sam Marks, I just read your comment. Love the lights in the room. You see it's back down to dark again, right? Let me see. I guess I could try to formulate, turn on this light from the phone. Let me see. Thank you, one person, for the thumbs. Okay, this is the best I could do for now. All right, so I was on earlier today, live, and there was a lot of you on here for that time of the afternoon. So I didn't do Walmart Spark, but I did cook. I did cook my turkey wings. Um, it wasn't smothered, nor was it roasted. I just basically cooked it in the Dutch oven pot on the stove, and I had put beef. Um, I put beef stock in it, and it made like a brown gravy. And I put a lot of vegetables in it: mushrooms, red red tomato, not tomato, red pepper, yellow pepper, onions, green onions, purple onions, mushrooms, celery, and it was two big wings. So I put the beef stock in it. It still tastes, and then I made me some short grain, sustainable rice in the Instapot. So that's what I was eating on. You could see while I was sitting here. Hey, two people. I devoured it. Look at this. Ain't nothing but bones. But it was good though. So mm, I'm here, but using TV, I can't type. Hey, I know y'all. I know your mo Sharky, but I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, please. So pretty much, I didn't do Walmart Spark because I don't know. I just didn't really feel like it for one thing, and two, um, it's not really busy in a sense in the week, early in the week. Even though last Monday was busy in terms of not busy for me, but busy in the sense that um, I guess a lot of people didn't want to work on Labor Day last week. Let me turn this thing off. Or I burn up my phone thing. And and I managed to stay at West One Walmart back and forth. I didn't go all over the place. And um, Monday's a good day to do Walmart Spark, but it just depends. So, but I didn't do it today or yesterday, but I'm going to do it tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll do me a few orders on Wednesday because I have to go to my doctor's appointment. And then when I'm out and about, I'm going to do me some of the Walmart Spark. Not to expect I'm going to make a whole lot, but um, I'll go ahead and do that. And then, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's when I really hustle in a sense. So I'm going to do it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they did have an incentive with the Walmart Spark that I saw. I said they had it for 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden they popped it up, but it was for going to Sam's Club. Sam's Club afternoon incentive from 9/12, which is today, to the 15th. So let me see, from 9/12 to 9:15, between 2 p.m. and 8, complete 3 trips, earn $9. Woohoo! 5 trips, you earn $21, which gives you $30. And if you do 7, then you earn an additional $26, which is $56 total. Hmm. Let me tell you, that may be good, but it may not be bad, but it may not be all that great with Sam's Club because one, um, they tend to be, I won't say they slow, but those orders tend to be way far for less money. And then the people that I see doing the Walmart Spark, I don't know. I don't. They kill me. They don't have the adequate kind of car. They be in a little small sedan trying to fit things that's meant to be for SUV. I don't know why um, people are getting those type of orders when they ask you what type of car you have, because some people, I really believe that they'll be lying on their profile and say they have a big car and they don't, and all you're doing is hurting yourself by um, putting more unnecessary wear on your car when your car does not hold a certain number of pounds. But people be stuffing stuff in the front seat, the back seat, and I was like, I'll be looking like, mm-mm. And they're not customers just picking up their orders. These are Spark drivers, whether they doing Uber or if they doing um, some other company, because there are multiple companies that picks up for Walmart and other companies, DoorDash, Roadie, Walmart Spark, and Uber. And when I was inquiring about the payout for some of those companies for doing the same thing, picking up from the Walmart, they pay way less. I was like, mm-mm. So those other companies pay shenanigans, which pay way less for people who doing Walmart Spark. So who knows? I ain't gonna stay here too long because one, I'm tired, and I haven't even studied today, so I'm gonna do some studying with WGU. So I have to do some readings before I go to bed because what was I doing all day today? I wasn't doing much of nothing. I mean, I did go to Aldi's, went to the store, and I was only supposed to pick up like things to cook with my turkey wings, and I end up um, buying a little bit more than I needed. But it was still groceries, almond milk, a couple of those frozen type of snacks, like it was what, shrimp bites or something. Um, bought me some. Did I buy that chicken patty? I think I did. I'm not sure if I did. I have to look and see. But I bought stuff. You know, it was healthy things. Celery. peppers, almond milk, 100% oatmeal. I didn't buy a whole lot of fruit. I did buy me some blackberries. That's supposed to be really good for being diabetic. It doesn't spike your sugar. So I didn't buy no bananas or nothing like that. You know, all fruits are sugar, but all fruits turn to sugar when you eat it. But um, it doesn't really spike it up. That's not what spikes my sugar up. What spikes my sugar up is drinking sweet tea, soda, orange juice, and I did not buy no orange juice. It took every night for me to walk by that orange juice, and I bought me little mini oranges, real little oranges. So as I was learning from the dietitian from a few years ago, if you want to drink orange juice, just eat fruit. Just eat the actual fruit, orange or something, not the actual orange juice. So I walked by it. I was like, oh. And then I know, Lynn, I did read your message about how to get off of drinking sweet tea, drink unsweet, and then mix it with sweet tea, and eventually weed off of drinking a whole lot of sweetening stuff. Because when I stopped drinking soda, my not just my sugar levels, but my waist went down. I started slimming down. I started losing weight. So when I stopped drinking soda, most definitely never eat at yuck nasty McDonald's no more. You know how I used to always get up from work, go to McDonald's to get me a breakfast sandwich? Nope, I will not. And then I really don't eat at Chick-fil-A as much anymore. Unless they gave me a free chicken sandwich or something. But I don't even go to Chick-fil-A hardly no more. Now I do have that habit of going to Culver's, but I don't go to Culver's 2, 3 times a week. I go to Culver's maybe twice a month, maybe 3 times. And then when I go to Culver's, I go and eat their fish dinner. Now I get the fish dinner with either, um, well, I only did it once. It was a steamed broccoli, but it was so little. I was like, this ain't a whole thing. Ain't no whole broccoli. So, but I don't eat at those places as much anymore. But then I went up the street to this Chinese place. There was like gumbo, fish and something, and I tried them out, and their stuff was real fresh. I've ate there 2 times in this month, so I said, nope, no more. And then when I bring it home, I only eat the chicken, save the fish. Then Charlie come around, and then I give him the fish, the whiting fish, not the whole fried part of it, but it was pretty good. And then I haven't even ate most of it. I was like, dang, I just between feeding Charlie some of the fish, and I ate the chicken wings, and after that I'll eat some of the fries, and then I end up keeping it in the refrigerator, and then I end up throwing it out. So, but today I did eat some dinner, and it was pretty good too. But it's not normally how I cook the turkey wings. I usually roast it, you know. But this time I just kind of put it in the pot, whatever, let it cook, put that brown gravy to it. But I should have just um, seasoned it and put it and boil it in water. But I put some beef stock in it. But it was still good. But it wasn't the best the way it wasn't as best that I usually cook it. But I only cooked two turkey wings, so I'll eat the other part tomorrow. And then it has the gravy. So, and you know what? That dang Charlie loved gravy. He loved when I made that homemade gravy. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him some when he start begging. Put some water in it, and I don't have no dry cat food. I have wet cat food. You know what? I'm gonna mix it with the little wet cat food and puts a little bit of the gravy, brown gravy in it, and let him eat it because he loved it. Last time I made some gravy from scratch, I gave him a little bit. Boy, he was begging and tore that thing up. He loved it. because I went to Aldi's today and I went to the pet section. They had no cat food. They had the cans of cat food. I was like, it's like they just limiting. Every time I turn around, they limiting in terms of the amount of cat food that's available, and it's such small sections. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They got some shortages with cat foods, and it's not as much to choose from. And it's not. And I've gone to Publix, I've gone to Walmart, Aldi, Lidl's, and every time I go, it's not. It's like the choices is like, ugh. So I said, you know what? I may have to make my own damn cat food, and of course it'll be healthy, and just make my own, like I said I was going to do before. So I end up buying 12 cans of cat food with the Aldi's, and Charlie likes it, but I was like, I know it ain't gonna last because I have to feed him twice. So I only got cat food for about 5 6 days. So I may have to start buying tuna in the can and salmon in the can. I only got one can of salmon. Charlie ain't eating that. No, you know what? I keep saying that he ain't getting none, but he ended up getting some. So I may have to buy salmon, and I know it got a lot of sodium and stuff, but when you look at the ingredients, the regular tuna in the water, of course I'll rinse it off again. It's healthier for me to feed him that. But I know you could only feed him a little bit, but he don't get a whole lot. I just give him enough, but I don't know what's going on. I was like, why? I may have to go online. What is that one? Order online and get the food delivered. I may have to do that. I may have to go online and order his cat food and get the big bags, because buying those small little bags every other week or whatever, you know, it's getting way too much. It's getting way expensive. And said, can you imagine if I had a dog, like big dogs, or even if I had dogs, period? The food just for the animals is just as expensive. So that would brings up the topic that I want to talk about tonight is how am I really surviving without me working full time back at Amazon, and I'm only getting paid 60% of my pay plus uh, doing the Walmart Spark. Now, let me tell you, I don't do Walmart Spark every day, 6, 7 days a week around the clock compared to some people that you may see on YouTube. I don't do that. Um, I was fortunate that when I was working during the tax season and I was working a lot of hours, I wasn't doing any gig work, but I was making a lot of, because I only work 4 months, 4 months out the year. And my salary per month was way exceeded my budget. And because I was working mostly from home, I wasn't really going out and about like I was. Now, I was working at Amazon as well, but I was managing to make a little bit over 4K a month with taxes taken out, and I was able to save for those months. So I knew that I saved my money during the month, and then I was working at Amazon. Of course, I don't make a whole lot of money in Amazon, and then I was doing my little gigs here and there. So it's important to kind of have an emergency fund, and it's true what they say. Save. It ain't no 2 to 3 months you have to save. You may have to save more like 6 months to 9 months of savings in order to, um, at least for me, in order for me to afford to pay my bills and things of that nature. So that's what I do. Now, I know someone asked me one time to do a budget about budgeting, talk about budgets and stuff. Now, I'm not one of those channels that make up some workbooks and sell it on their, sell it on their channel and pull out all the budgets and stuff and put out all the information like that because there's a lot of channels that does that. But most of those people that I notice when they have a lot of subscribers. They sell everything under the world, from T-shirts to books to whatever. Now, I'm not saying that you make a lot of money on YouTube because I'm not monetized, so I ain't even have 1,000 subscribers. So much making any money on here. Here, your pleasure. So when I come on here, I'm not, and I give y'all information or updated information about certain things. You don't see me trying to capitalize and make money selling selling master classes because I'm surprised ain't nobody did something silly and talk about student loans and what to do and try to package it and sell it to people when in fact of the matter is most of that stuff you can look up yourself and it's free. You don't have to pay somebody to do anything, that you could do yourself, you know? Because if you was really interested in paying down your student loans, you wouldn't be um, paying somebody else to do something. Because number one, it's a scam most of the time. Number two, you're being taken advantage of, and all you're doing is paying for somebody's time to do something that you should be doing. To be honest, so when um, when the PPP and the ELE grant came about, there was a lot of people here on YouTube that were making up master classes. I don't even see these people no more. Now, if I was, and some of these people, they're well known. I'm not talking about they're the big YouTubers with 1.2 million subscribers or a lot of subscribers. These were um, people who were somewhat kind of moderate, and some of them lived in Atlanta. I'm surprised in all these years that these people who were so big YouTubers who were doing the Uber and the Lyft and the food deliveries and they were on YouTube. I don't see none of those people no more on YouTube at all. Occasionally I will see Terry Tips, and he was always be coming up with that make it smile and then and if you ain't out there, you ain't So some people came from the top and crumbled, crashed, you know. But I don't know what happened. When I think about the journeys of doing these gig work back in the day and how we were a very niche community of people, even I was mentioned, especially when it came to taxes and stuff. And I was telling people about that. I never made no book. I never made no PowerPoint presentation slides and booklets. Because number one, I have to be careful on the things that I do. And two, ain't nobody was paying no attention because they rather. The one thing I noticed with this gig work and this gig economy is that people always want to see what somebody is making. Are they making the money and flashing it and making it? Mm-mm. Most of the time, people are really trying to capitalize on their YouTube channel and got a lot of followers and subscribers, and then you see them selling merch and stuff like that, which is way too expensive. I mean, people be selling t-shirt hoodies $28, $30. I'm like, no. I mean, I haven't seen nobody worn no hoodie or anything like that from a influencer. And the people who's really making money on YouTube, because I'll be watching some of the videos, like I started watching the cat people making cat videos on their cats with the voiceover. People be making um, things with the dogs with a voiceover. I find that so amusing. I caught myself watching Hammy and Olivia. It was this guy, this white guy, but he has like a whole bunch of sponsorships and had like 1.3 million views on, and it was on dogs. People had dogs and cats. That's why I said, shoot, if I make me a video with Charlie and get a voiceover and start making short videos, shoot, I probably get way more subscribers than I got now if I was to do it. But see, I don't have no light. I have no special light. I don't edit no videos. I don't do nothing with the thumbnails and nothing more because it's a lot of work. It really is. It is a lot of work. So what I do to survive working the gig jobs is I just work a regular W-2 job. Even though I didn't go back to work yet at Amazon, but I will be going back pretty soon, especially once I go to the doctor on October the 4th and do this kind of test, and then we can go back. I'm still going to be studying for my career choice or WGU and still apply for positions. Matter of fact, a former coworker of mine who worked at the IRS, she works for FEMA, and I so happened to clicked on her number, and she called me back. She called me two days ago. We had spoken since 2017, and I was asking what she was up to, and she told she was working for FEMA. She's been there for like 2 years, and they hiring for FEMA, and so I told her, she told me they hiring. I just finished my application and sent it to the manager who's recruiting for people. They need people, so I'll let y'all know what happens with that. Now, in terms of TurboTax, I called my manager because I asked her could I use her as a reference when I start applying for a job, and she told me yes, and she said that I was asking her for the update in terms of would they be calling people for next year, and she said that she hasn't heard anything. Even her husband worked at TurboTax, and they haven't heard nothing. So I guess they're gonna be calling people back sometime in the fall, late fall, or whatever. But TurboTax is going through some new changes in terms of AI and processing of returns now. And I said I already knew I already knew that was going to happen because I was looking at some new thing they was trying to do and test out. So, and last tax season, even though I was a tax expert lead, they said that last tax season was slow. It was slow. It wasn't as busy like they were before. See, this be my third, I've just finished 3 years, and even though I was a new position, they weren't as busy. So they were like trying to figure out, well, what's going on, and I try to tell them, but they ain't nobody listen to me because, um, during COVID, when things were closed, people weren't going to H&R Block, and people weren't going to places directly, dropping off things. A lot of those things were franchised, and people just, I don't know, it just wasn't as busy. And there gonna be some changes in the upcoming future, not later, but soon. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna sit around and wait and see if I get called back for next tax season because I already knew it was only a 4 month period. It wasn't 6 months. It wasn't like, oh, I hope I work longer. Even the people that they extended the tax season after April, the end of April when we off board. They keep a couple people during the summer. Even then, during the summertime, and this was a tax expert lead, their thing was cut short. They didn't work as long like they used to. Why don't you open your own? I don't want to do that. I don't want to open my own tax service. Mm-mm. There's no money to be made doing people taxes. Matter of fact, it takes up way more time than I need to because doing a tax return, $150 or whatever, that's not. Mm-mm. It's not as lucrative as it is. The money to be made is more so for big companies, big from small business, not no gig workers. I need help with my tax. That's not really where the money is to be made. People will nickel and dime people to death when it come time to do their taxes. And I had too many. I've been doing people taxes, and it had way too much problems than it is. So I would never want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it because people when you do people taxes and I give them advice and I tell them what to do and this and that or whatever, tell people things for years, even close family members. And I don't want to get into it because the situation upset me very, very bad. Can I not choose who I want to do my taxes? And then here you come, you want me to do your tax return. And this is my own mother. And I'm not even gonna get into that story. I'm not even gonna get into that situation because I told one person, privately about the situation and stuff. And it was one person at work. He don't work at Amazon no more. I was doing his taxes, but I've been finished his taxes from day one. But then I keep telling him, you keep getting this error code. And who did your return the previous year? Because his thing popped up about an issue of identity theft. I told him to do something. I ain't heard from him. He was getting a refund. I'm gonna call him one last time before October 15th because I need to do my own tax return. I know I'm getting a refund, so I ain't worried about it. But mm-mm, nope. And the reason why doing a tax preparation service was so lucrative in the past was because they used to give those advance refunds, and the only people who was making money was the bank, the fees, and people were running to the tax place every time tax season come. People think this is Christmas. They run into the tax. They run into the tax place and think they're gonna get two, three, four, $5,000. They're not. They're eliminating a lot of those credits. Child tax credit, this credit. They're eliminating a lot. And I told y'all, and I know I told y'all for years, especially last year. I told you, I said, don't expect such a big refund this year. It's gonna be low. People did their tax return, and some people broke even. I ain't getting no money back. I ain't getting no money back. I said you paid a refund is I don't want to work for the post office. Nope, never. Mm-mm. I don't want to work in the post office. The post office is a private. It's funded by the federal government, but it's not a federal agency. And the ones who were under the old system, when they were getting a pension and getting all that stuff, they only have a few hundred people in the whole thing of the post office system that's still in that system. And trust me, the few thousand people or a couple hundred people, and I'm talking about nationwide, they're about to retire. They've been there 20 something years, 30 something, they're about to go. So if they hiring at the post office, you're not getting all those great benefits that people were so, oh, you get a good government job, a good government job. You know, man, please. When black folks started working for the federal government, it was, trust me, it turned into a more slave mentality. You know how many of my former coworkers at the IRS, I asked them if they want to work interpreter, they were like, hell no. They did not want to do it. They didn't want to deal with no taxes. They didn't want to answer. They didn't want to do it. Even though I told you you can make your own schedule and it's flexible, they like, nope. They worked there so many years. they hung up their hat and enjoying their retirement. And I don't blame them because they was begging me to come back about the IRS. They need people. One of my former coworkers, she lives right here in this subdivision, and she was telling me, and they was like, "Well, you applied, they hiring back." I'm like, "No, I would never go back. I did not want to go back. The only way I'll go back to the IRS is that I'm a data analyst or data scientist or studying what I'm studying now, and be part of the modernization where tax returns. People, I'm telling you, I told people this is going to happen, and it's not that hard to figure out. The more data that's collected on taxpayers through the years, and if they change the monetary system where things are now going to be digitized, the IRS already going to have all your income information, and they're going to say, "Here you go." It's going to be automatically filed. And then if you owe taxes, they'll send you a bill in the mail and say, "Okay, here you go, you owe." They're not going to be having all these deductions and all of this. You could write it off. That's why it makes me cringe when I hear so many people here on YouTube talk about you could write everything off. Let me show you how to write. You cannot write everything off. You know, people act like, they act like you can write everything. Come on now. I've been, I don't even, that's why I don't want to do nobody taxes with no more. I don't want to do it. I try to offer people help, my own relatives. I try to offer, I said, "Nah, I want you to do my," and then when something happens down the road, don't come to me. Don't come to me talking mess. Just me thinking about what happened with a certain person, close mother, that did that and then got the nerve. Oh, I don't want to talk about it because it's gonna bring up my anxiety, and I'm trying to let it go and set boundaries and not mess up my mental state. So when people come to me, "Well, what does this mean? Take a snap." And I be gracious enough, and rather than telling a certain person, when they were telling me, "Well, what does this mean about?" I should have told them, "You go and ask the person who did your return. Don't ask me." But I didn't do that. I wasn't ugly. I told them, "Okay, that means your status is da 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 da." And I answer the question. Why the hell should I answer the question to people and I didn't do your return and you paying somebody $400 to do some simple simple return? And I just hear the foolishness. I hear the foolishness, and I can't stand it. So I said, I'm not gonna rack my brain over other people's issues no more. You know, I'm not gonna be helpful no more. You know. If any one of y'all was to ask me, depending on who it is, and you ask me a question, I'll be glad to help because I know y'all could be supportive. But for those people who wanna, can I not get someone else? Can I not choose how I want to do my return? Sure, do what you want to do. But then when problems come up, you want to call me. Don't call me. Go to that person that did your thing and you ask them. Try to find them. Let them do it. So the question to answer why I open my own tax service, that's the reason why. It's not lucrative. It's wasted too much of my time. A lot of the people I work with at TurboTax, a lot of them have their own tax business. They do taxes on the side. And you know how much of a headache it is? It's a straight up headache. So some people, they say, "You know what? I'll work with TurboTax." They know it'll be 4 months. They go make their own schedule and they ain't gotta worry. Some people close their tax business down. Why spend more money on office expenses? Even if I do it at my house, I could do it. It still costs me software expense. Um, you have to be careful. I have to be careful because if something happens, I could be fined $5,000. It's a lot of stuff. You try to get people to um, understand, to ask questions, and they like, "I don't know, they act like you're supposed to be the magical wand that you're gonna suddenly get this large amount of money in a refund. Man, please. I this year as I paid down my mortgage, um, the standard deduction for single, I don't have a whole lot of deductions no more like it used to. People think that you buy a house, oh, you buy a house, you could get a write off. You could write off a lot of stuff. No, you cannot. It is not true. You could write off the mortgage interest and the tax, but if it's not more than your standard deduction for your filing status, it gets useless after a while. The biggest thing you can write off on anything is your tax, is your home, and even then, it's not a whole lot as you go along to pay off the mortgage. You're not really saving as much as you think you are. You have a small business doing the gig work, you're only limited to the amount of mileage you could deduct based on your income. You don't get to deduct everything like you keep hearing these people here on YouTube say you could deduct everything. Millionaires and wealthy people, they don't pay no taxes, and first of all, they're not even in the same bracket. They're not even in the same league so much. Comparing yourself to people who have millions of dollars, let me tell you, even if you make $1 million, that's you could even if you make six figures or $1 million, you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Most people who are that wealthy, well off, they broke. So don't let it fool you when you see people on YouTube making it seem like I'm living the life. You living the life, all right, living your life to the poorhouse because you think you make a lot of money. It's a trip. I know I could tighten up my budget a little bit, especially spending, unnecessarily, like going to the grocery store, eating out rather than coming home and cook, or I'll go to the grocery store, buy food, then go out to eat. It's those little things, it's those little things that add up, you know. I'll be thinking I'm going to Quick Trip, and I said, "Ooh, let me get me a hot dog, get me a hot dog and a drink." That little $3 and stuff, that. I'm not saying I spent a whole lot eating out like that, but shoot, after a while, I was like, "Oh, I'm tired of eating this," and I said, "Let me go in this Quick Trip, get me some water." And I don't buy water; I come in there with my empty cup. Now, sometimes I'll drink some, I'll sneak a little bit of drink, whatever. But even then, after a while, I was like, "Ugh, I get so tired of drinking." First of all, most of the stuff at the day Quick Trip, the sodas be running out, no more. So I said, let me go ahead and get me some water. And then when you look over at the hot dogs, it's like, damn, they ain't had no hot dogs, all empty, or they just put it out. It's like people are buying cheap, 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 but it ain't doing much for your health. All that sodium and salt. And I'll be like, oh God, I said, I got to drink me some water, drink out some of this sodium out of my system. So, so when I went to the Aldi's today and I bought me like little things that I could warm up in the oven and I could put it in my little beady bowl and bring me a little make me, try to eat before I leave. Like I bought me some oatmeal, blackberries, blueberries, almond milk. Cause now it's start getting a little cool. I could start eating my oatmeal, wholesome grain oatmeal, not that little pack stuff either. That's I buy the whole old fashioned oatmeal that you gotta cook on the stove. And don't let me go into the farmers market and buy that steel cut oatmeal that's not processed. That's real oak. I'm gonna start buying that too. So the fall, I love the fall when it starts coming up because I tend to eat a little bit more healthier and I'm not going to fast food. And I know some people like, you said that before, and whoever made a comment, and you know who you are, Miss James, co-worker, don't come up in here and write no dumb comment because I've been reading the comment and you say, well, I agree, you know. I'm not saying I'm gonna be eat perfectly, but at the same time, I'm way better off than most people. But you have to manage. I mean, like I said, you got to manage your money. I'll be wondering all the time. I have coworkers, they work at Amazon, and I was like, you know, people living with multiple people, and there's nothing wrong with that because I know that me living here in this house, I would love to have a housemate, but I've been screwed in the past when I offered people to be a housemate and they screw me each time. I said, you know what? Nope, I wouldn't do it. But I don't know. That's all I gotta say. Ain't nothing much to talk about. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and then actually it's two, and then I'm gonna try to do a little bit of Walmart Spark when I'm out and about, and build up my little savings. And if y'all weren't here earlier and saw the other video, I got a check in the mail for my student loans when I was paying, and they forgave my student loans. I got a check in the mail today from the Department of Education, U.S. Treasury. It was only $380 something, but I figured, they determined that's how much they were gonna pay me back. I don't know how they came up with that amount, but you know what? I'm glad I got the $380 something, 325 or whatever the amount was. So if you have your student loans forgiven and you got an email from the Department of Education saying based on your income base after 20 something years of paying, they may have to pay. They may give you some of your payment back that's due to you for your student loans. I ain't saying they're gonna go all the way back for all those 20 years. I don't know how they determined how far they went back, but I guess um, when I was making my payments during a certain time period, I think I was paying it during when they had a freeze. I don't know. I know I made some payments during the time it was a freeze. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was something I made, and I guess they said after reviewing all my payments and stuff, and they said, well, you already met the deadline. And then they said, okay, you overpaid 300 something dollars. I wish it was 3,000 something dollars, but it wasn't. But I'm still happy because I know I still got some money owed for several things. So, anywho, thank y'all for listening and thank you for the three thumbs ups. Um, all I can simply say is that if you have student loans, go on your studentaid.gov report, check your status as to who serviced your student loans, and check your email and put in Department of Education if you got an email about some debt income based forgiveness and you are at least late 40s, 50s, and you're part of that 800,000 people in that group because you can't be 20 something years old and then say you had an income base and pay for 20 years. They would not mathematically make sense. But if you're a person who's been in school, like the generation X, like I am, and you've been in school and you're about 50, 55 years old, and you've been in school since you were 20 something from 20 something years ago, and you have a not federal student loans, you may be one of those people in that 800,000 group. If you're younger, 20s, early 30s, mathematically you wouldn't have gone to college and took out a student loan and have been paying on an income based program for 20 or 25 years. So you have to be at least mm, yep, you have to be at least in your late 40s, 50s for that to happen because Now, I need like the old program, the new program that they implemented. That's a whole different thing. So I know Dave Ramsey had some show today about the student loans and how they so damn critical. I stopped listening to his show because he got the nerve, along with the other one, the black girl with the curly hair, Wolfmall, whatever her last name is. They criticizing and talking down and talking mean about people who got the student loans forgiven and acting like someone who got six figures of student loans working a government job, whether it be police officer working for the government or a teacher, and you're not making no money, but you servicing the public and your kids, they act like they're punishing people if they because they got their student loans forgiven. Do realize that me and people in in that situation who's working a government job, who was working for whether it be federal or state nonprofit organization or whatever the case may be, was not even getting paid a salary for the career that one invested to do and been paid for 20 something years and acting like, oh, well, you could have, you should have, you could have, should have. And these people on YouTube making have millions of subscribers, Dave Ramsey, and they just critical. I stopped even watching his show because he's a fake con artist who had millions of dollars in debt when he started out in real estate almost 40 years ago or whatever long it was and got his loans forgiven through bankruptcy. So how are you going to come on here? You a 60 something year, 60 something, 65, 68-year old man who was in $1 million in debts. Come on, have a show along with some of the other people bashing people because they had student loans forgiven. That's what kills me. The same people who come uproar and uproar talking about the debt is the slave of the whatever biblical term or phrase that people want to use. How you gonna just pick the Bible and pick out verses that you want to pick out? You know, that's why I don't believe in these fake evangelicals, fake Christian preachers talking about prosperity and they just, taking advantage. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to sit here and hear no bull crap because people just pick the Bible, pick out pieces and word. It also said in the Bible, which I'm not going to sit here and quote and think I know it. It mentions about 7 years. There's a thing with the 7 years that after 7 years, those to forgive those are in debt. It does say that too. It does say it. Anybody want to challenge me to that? Leave a comment, and you could and tell me where you found it, because I ain't looking. I got time to look for it. I know I've heard it. I know at one point I read it, but it mentions people. You don't nitpick what you want to nitpick on about debt. You know, I hate when I come across people. I believe in the Bible. I'm in the Bible. I'm in the Bible, but then you act like a fucking damn bitch in the damn public. When I was at Sam's Club the other day, this lady was so fucking rude, But she's like, no, she asked this other girl. She was wearing a shirt with a Barbie, right? What's up with this thing with the Barbie? I ain't in it bad. And the girl was trying to explain to her, and I said, well, it's a bunch of boo. It's a BS to me. And I said, it's just, everybody had a doll. I told him, I said, that was this Barbie, just a doll that a white woman made and the name after her daughter, Barbara. and name it short for Barbie. And it was no people were making a political thing about the movie and stuff. I said, ain't nobody listen to all that. They just going back because it's not nostalgia and something that it reminds people in their younger years and stuff like that. I said they'll come back with the Transformer toys. They're gonna come back with all these other little things that people grew up on and make a movie about it. But everybody want to politicize every little thing that come out. So she was like, "Well, I don't believe that in myself, and I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Bible." You know, I don't know what Bible she believed in, but if not, it's a King James version, and every in the Bible was written 10 billion times, and nobody knows what the true version is. But you gonna believe in the Bible, a make believe book, because that's what it is, a stories of parables that was written through centuries. Ain't nobody who's to say that that's real. I don't believe it. There might be people who wrote the Bible, think King James version and other versions been changed over so many times. Written King James, a lot of stuff. Everything ain't meant to be taken literally. You know, people so quick to say I believe in the Bible, but then and then you doing stuff in the Bible that says not to do, and people do it. So you don't believe in the Bible if you're not even honoring the Bible based on certain things that people are doing today, especially black folks. We as black folks fall for the okey doke every time. Fall for the okey doke, you know? Fall for the okey doke. That's why I don't be sitting up here believing nothing that I hear from people. All that jumping around, acting crazy, falling out, and people, fall for the okey doke. I'm a spiritual person and I believe in God. But I'm not going to believe in some magical book because that's been written from evil people through the world and centuries who wrote it. That's my opinion. Yeah, I know some of y'all probably say, hey, you're going to hell. Fuck you. Go to jump on the broom and go to hell on and move on. But I'm not going to sit here and profess to be anything in my belief. I know I thought Charlie was back there and have my beliefs, but I'm not going to sit up there and pick pieces of what I want to believe in a book. You know, whether it be the Old Testament, the New Testament, you know, people of different faiths and beliefs, you know, that's my opinion on that. So I don't go for no evangelical and talking about, oh, the barber, the slave of the whatever, whatever. Slave to the debtors and all that kind of stuff. And you're gonna just read a piece of the Bible, just parts of it. But then people don't tell you the full story, the full thing of what it means. It says way more than that. I can tell you that. It says way more than what you hear on Dave Ramsey saying. Way more. You know, the church was not meant to be the Bank of America, USA, Wells Fargo, having ATM machines in the church, and preachers driving around in Rolls Royces and expensive cars and mansions, while the people around them live in the ghetto. Clutch. It's nothing but College Park and East Point and all those other areas in South Atlanta is in the ghetto. But yeah, people were just running over there with the Creflo Dollar. You drive around in Rolls Royce and walking around with the expensive suits. That's what not the meant. That's not what meant the church meant to be. It was not meant to be that. So when people, so we as black folks, I'm gonna speak to the black people. We jumping around like a dang monkey, walking around, falling out. You know, that person wanted to sell me a car last week. She go to that New Birth, and she said, "You come to church with me, and he be speaking." I ain't going there. I was like, mm-mm. I didn't go there when Bishop Eddie Long was with the pastor of the church. I'm not going there with the Jamal Bryant. You know, it was all kind of foolishness, foolishness, just foolishness. So that's all I got to say about that. So I'm going to bed, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. But don't be foolish and leave me a book about I don't want to follow you and then I don't, if you don't like my videos, move on. I'm not begging you to stay. I'm not even monetized. So skip along, toodaloo, have a good day. But for those who, you know, you want to support and follow me and stay with me, I much appreciate it. But we could agree to disagree and but be respectful because I don't want to curse you out. I don't want to curse you out if you say something stupid to me. I don't want to block you. I mean, you can title to your opinion, but if you come out saying crazy stuff, mean spirited, that I'm not going to tolerate. But y'all have a good night, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. And y'all have a good one. If you have any topics you want me to discuss, send me an email. It would be much appreciated because I'm running out of things to say. All right. Y'all have a good one. I see everybody want to come on. 5 people? Okay, 5 people. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up. And y'all have a good night. Catch the replay. See you soon.